Welcome to Financials with Ahau. It's a joy to be together with you as we continue on the Making Wealth series. Today, we build up the conversation on financial tools for Africa. As I was thinking this morning, praying, and just interacting in my spirit with what I wanted to talk about, for a moment I was blank. So I kept asking myself, what do I mean when I say financial tools for Africa? What comes to mind? What would I like the people who are listening to me to carry away when they leave this particular clip? And now, as we continue to speak, what immediately has come to me and would be so big for us to think through is how we are thinking about the continent as a whole, how we are thinking about the language that we use on this continent that speaks to where it's going. And for a long time, we've been saying Africa is the next frontier, Africa is where we have growth, Africa has the youngest population, Africa has the most virgin land. So many things we've been saying. And now we need to ask ourselves, what do we need to employ that will get us to move in this continent? And when I think about that, I realize that there's so much to talk about in that perspective. And one of the things that comes to mind is property. For a long time, we know that the land in Africa, what happened when we came through colonization and nations were formed and boundary lines changed. So property has been such a key thing in Africa. And many times we've always asked ourselves, I feel like I have something solid when I own property. But do we always understand what it means to have property? Do we always understand what it means and how property is a place for growth for us? Many times we hold property and we're just like, there's just land there somewhere. I don't know what to do with it. But this past few months, actually, I found myself up and about and just thinking through the area of property and what's been happening around that area. And one of the key financial tools for Africa that is so defined to us is how we value land and how it's seen as such an important thing, sadly, so that even people fight and kill each other. But we can choose to make it a tool of growth. What do we do with the property at hand? Are we looking to have vast masses of land that are lying idle? And at some point in my country, Kenya, there was even talk of a fine. If you have big land and it's doing nothing, the government will come for you. So it means that property, land is something that we can think about and begin to use wisely for investment. Maybe you might not be in a position to buy land. What about leasing land for a particular thing you want to do? You might not be in a position, now you have bought land, but you can't begin to exploit it. How about you lease it to someone? How about you do simple renovations and turn it into a playground? Simple renovations and turn it into a wedding and events ground. Just things that really enable you to capitalize what is in your hands. Sometimes it's easy to think you don't have anything and you can't do much, but that small piece of property that is in your hands can do a lot. And now we've even seen vertical farming, where when people can no longer do much horizontally because of the size, they're exploiting, going upwards, sacks that are stacked on top of each other in a very interesting way. And they are able to move us towards using the tools in our hand on this continent. That's something I want to just keep encouraging us to think through. What do you have in your hands? Another continent might have developed and they can even now use their land to build up commercial property, but we have to be cautious as Africa, knowing that our land is very good for food farming, that we don't run to exploit everything for commercial building purposes and residential building purposes, but we still find different avenues to make sure that land serves us as a tool on this continent and as an area of investment. I invite you to think, dream, all these places you hear people going to view property, go and see. Discover for yourself. There could be something so new that you can pick up. Keep writing your dreams, keep aspiring for them, keep walking in accountability, and keep praying that God will bring you the right people to strengthen you towards your financial goals. Thank you for listening. Until the next time, it's Ahau.